Good morning. How you doing today? My name is Derek Seals. I'm here with another video concerning doors, and we're going to go over door schedules as well. So we need to understand one thing about doors when we're reading on the blueprints. We have here, I have drawn out on my board, some very important information that you need to really be able to be aware of. So we have our first door is going to be a single swing door. The single swing door is a common door in all residential construction and in commercial construction. There is a doorway that you need to go in. There's going to be a door unless there's a case opening. Okay, so the doors this is a 2x4 wall or 2x6 wall, which I do have written out here. Make sure that you can see all the letters because they are written backwards due to my camera. So this 2x wall could be a 2x4 wall or it could be a 2x6 wall. Remember, this wall is always intersecting into another wall to receive it, so it can be locked into place. When I mean locked into place, this wall is stationary at a location on the plans. And you have to remember, on the plans, you will see walls butting against other walls. Usually that's to the outside wall, and then you have walls on the interior part of your structure that is also butting to separate space. So we need to understand, we have a single swing door. This door is a left-hand door. How do you determine a left-hand door? Well, when you face the door, this is the hinge side. This is going to be a left-hand reverse. That means it's swinging out. Now, if I have this hinge on the inside of the door and I'm on this is going to be a left-hand swing door. Here is a left-hand reverse when you on the outside. On the inside, it's just a left hand. And it's also true for the right side as well. So when you stand in front of a door, and if your hinges are on the outside of where you're standing, which is outside the door, this represents the swing of the door. The swing. This represents the door. This mark here you will see on the plans is going to be your center line. The center line of a door is always placed on the plans because that's the measurement that the plans is telling you, take your measurement from when you do your layout. Very interesting, because layout is going to be the very key focus that I want you to be an expert in. The layout guy on a framing project that is building the structure is the most important guy really on the job. It's the start of the beginning of the job. If the doors and windows are in the wrong place, at the wrong height, this job could be a disaster. Framing will have to be cut out like you're doing a remodel job. Double the cost. We want to prevent you from doing that. You need to understand and identify. There will be a door schedule on the door plans. For when you look at the plan, most plans are going to give you a letter or they're going to give you a number. On our door schedule, there's going to be letters. And no, there's going to be numbers. On our door schedule, there's going to be numbers. There's going to be numbers on our door schedule. Okay? And I want you to remember that. Numbers. Letters for windows. Okay? Numbers for doors. So, if we have here 1. Everywhere you see a 1 on the plan, that's going to be the size of this door. So we have a 2 foot by 6 inch. I'm going to put that down here for you. There's some markings that I do need to do in front of you. 2 foot. Remember, I told you about the slash is the foot representation and the double slash is the inch mark representation. So every time you see 1 slash above a door, that's feet or foot. When you see the double slash, that means that's inches. We went over that in my videos concerning measuring rulers, how to measure with the measuring tape, how to measure with the measuring ruler, or how to measure from an architectural scale. So all that's broken down in my previous videos. Go check them out. Okay, but on this video, we're building you to become a blueprint reader. This is all in blueprints. We have a wall here that has studs. Stud. We have a stud at the bottom We have a stud here. But this stud casing here in this particular area where you see my X here, my X here, my X here, those X's are going to represent a framing member. 2x4, 2x6. It's going to always be specified in the plans, on the blueprints, the size of the lumber. You don't have to guess anything. Well, let's go walk over here. This area right here, let's go over a wall channel. Say that with me. Wall channel, okay? Framing. Wall channel framing. As you can see how I drew this up, it kind of looks like a U shape here. This is a stud facing flat direction. But these are studs on the outside facing a different direction. This stud here is nailed into between these two studs. This is a channel. This is very important in blueprint reading because wherever you have a wall butting into another wall, this framing member needs to be there. Why? This receives the wall. This wall here is going into the channel. This stud here is nailed to this channel here. This is actually the channel. Why is it in between two studs? Because these two studs on either side represent drywall screwing or nailing. So the drywall, when it comes from this point here and goes to this point here, it has something to nail to or to secure to. And that's on both sides because this wall has interrupted this area. And now it's not flowing straight through because now it has been stopped because of a wall. So, single swing. We have a door that is going to be classified on the plans as the number 1. They're going to be listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're going to be around the perimeter or the interior part of your blueprints. That's very important for you to know because when you do your calculations for your header width for the size of your door opening, you need to understand what is the size of that door. Now you have to remember that's a part of estimating when you come to headers. Headers are the structural member that's at the top of a doorway, that's at the top of a window, that supports that opening. That opening is void. So we need to transfer the weight. The weight has to go around that area, but it cannot have a weakness in between a door or a window. So we're transferring the weight from one side to another side so that we can create this void to have a structural integrity that is going to bear the weight load of a void spot. We're going to get into that in framing. Right now I need you to understand. Pay attention. Pay attention. That's the go-to word. Pay attention. Pay attention. Bypass doors. Bypass doors are your closet doors. These doors, they open in such a way. They're here, but they may bypass by about 1.5 inches. But when you open one side of the door, it gives you access to one side of the closet. When you close that part, that access is closed. When you open up the other side, that door is going behind the other door. Now, there are 2 doors here that have tracks, metal tracks above so that these doors can hang. These doors don't have a mounting process as the hinge. This is a hinge area. 2x4 or 2x6, 2x wall, okay? Hinge side. Standing in front of this door is a left-hand swing on the outside of the door that's coming to me. But if I was standing on the inside of the door, this is a left-hand reverse. This is a left-hand swing on this side of the door. Don't get it twisted. A lot of people don't know that. They tell you to put your back to the wall, and if your hinges is on the side, it's a left-hand door. Okay, but if I'm facing the door, and I have an inward door or an outward door, doors swing both directions. So don't just think that you got a left-hand door. You need to know whether it's a left-hand swing or a left-hand reverse swing. Because this is reverse coming out. This is left-hand swing going in. This is inside. This is outside. Pay attention. Inside, outside. Determination is facing. From the outside, you can determine both sides. On the right side, it's the same concept. Just know if you learn one side, it's the same on the other side. We're not going to go into too detail and confuse you. But inside, outside. Left hand swing, reverse, outside. Right hand swing, if this swoop here was swooping this way and this door was going this direction, it's a right hand reverse. If I'm on the inside and the door is slashing up and the swing is coming this direction, it's a right hand reverse. Okay, so we need to determine that, and I want you to be a master at it. When you look at the door schedule, there's going to be numbers that you need to pay attention to, because these numbers are very important. They're going to tell you the size of the door. The 2'6" inch door is 30 inches in a measurement. Go to the early video. If you don't know how to reach your measurements, go to that video. 30 inches. You have 32-inch doors. You have 30-inch doors, 32-inch doors. You have 34-inch doors. You have 36-inch doors. 36-inch doors, it's not the largest size door. You have a 48-inch door. Well, where you have those 48-inch doors? Funeral homes. Ooh. Hospitals, pushing beds through. Those are your 48-inch doors. Anything beyond that, it's not in a dwelling. It's usually at a barn or at a garage type level or a shed. Customized. Breaking it down for you. 2'6" by 6 feet by 8 inches. 6'8" is 80 inches. Okay? But let me tell you something about your door height. You do not need to make your framing at 80 inches or your door is not going to fit. Why? It's because you got a 3/4 inch jamb that is holding a frame around your door. 3/4 of an inch. You have an 1/8 of an inch spacing in between that for your door closing into the frame. It's all kind of making sense right now, okay? You have to allow for these measurements. Check out the first video. I got 8 videos on measuring. So check those out. Follow me because we're going into framing and we're getting ready to get very hairy into framing. These are the beginning parts of I Need You. You're going to, as you see this, I'm going to do the same as windows. So follow me because you really need to know the opening sizes for windows and doors. And all windows and doors are framed at the same height, especially on the exterior. They could vary on the interior because if you have a custom mansion, you might have doors 8 foot, but you might not have a front door that's 8 foot. Make sense? Okay? But on your outside, your exterior, your windows and your doorways, back door, front door, side door, maid's quarters going into a cabana or a guest house is leading into from a hallway. Those doors could be different sizes. Back doors normally could be 34 to 32 inches, 2'8". 2'8" is 32 minimum. Bathroom doors could be a minimum of 24 inches. Very narrow, very small. Most people don't want that. Okay, I wouldn't want that either. But if you cheapo or you know, or you very cheap and you're building an apartment complex, they do give a minimum standard of everything from the city, the building department. I use the word L because EL is in Spanish. You know, it is just basically primarily telling you cheap. You just, you know, there's a way to save money. But if you want comfort, you want space. So just mind you, these videos will be translated in Spanish, United States Spanish, and in Mexico, United States Mexican language. If I use any Spanish terms on here, it's no offense. It's just basically telling you I'm trying to get that dialogue in my video so they'll know. You know, these terms are also used in the United States. Interior doors. Interior door, 6'8", 80 inches. The thickness of the door is 1 3/8 inches. Doors can be as thick as 1 3/4 inches, residential and commercial. Not uncommon for you to have a 2-inch door. Not uncommon. Why? Well, we have studios, recording studios. Now I've seen doors to be 2 inches. Yes. So you get into the various practices of principles dealing with framing and dealing with different types of businesses. This is residential, commercial. I'm giving you some a degree of training in. This also will include industrial and, like I said, the studio. 2'6" by 6'8" by 1'3" is what you will have a call out size for your door size. Your thickness is at the end when you put it down. Your beginning is how wide your door is. The middle is how tall your door is. Same as a window. You want your width, your length, or you want your length and your width. Okay, I got to get it right. Your length is how wide it is. Your width is how wide it is. Your length is how tall it is. Excuse me. Yeah. So remember that when you estimate 2 by 4 by 1 3/4, 2 by 6 by 6'8", 30 inches by 8 inches. You also need to break this down in inches as well as feet. That way you can get a primarily fixture on a measurement. Going back to those videos again. We went over wall channel. Bypass doors, pocket door. The bypass door has a metal track right up above because the door is hanging from above and is free at the bottom. There's a guide at the bottom that keeps these doors aligned so that they don't wobble way out of line when you open them or when you close them. There's a lot of apartment complexes that don't have this, and that's because they're trying. Maintenance department is slow. They're just trying to move people in. They can fix it later. Don't settle for that, okay? Because these doors swinging wildly, will be hitting your things on the inside. Could actually keep swinging. And if a child is walking by, always safety. We want to always remember you about safety. You have little children, you have to be very safety cautious with apartments and homes. The pocket door. The pocket door also has a metal track to it, okay? The door is inside of a frame on the pocket door. When you look at it on the plans, this is what it's going to look like on the plans in this area here. Remember, you're going to have a center line. This center line is going to represent the center of the door. And then from each side of a center line is how you come up with your measurement on your framing. Everything is to the center, doors and windows on your outside of your perimeter, dealing with the blueprints. Center line. This stands for center. It's a C, but there's a line through it. And it could be a line with an L, center line. Metal track above the pocket door. Pocket doors are common, especially they're very, very good if you're a master remodeler or if you're someone and you know that these people have a handicapped person in the house, there's a wheelchair. The pocket door gives you the maximum opening of that opening. It gives you the room you need for the wheelchair. Remember, you need a 5', 60" or 60" radius for a spin turnaround inside of a bathroom for handicap accessibility. There are codes dealing with that, especially. I built them. They're on the plans if there's needed. Grab bars, hand bars behind the toilet, on the side of the toilet, 3 different sizes. Arm grabs for you can get off the chair. These things need to be installed on the wall. But we're talking about doors. I'm going to be talking about a lot of different things, so pay attention because every video is not the same. It's giving you abrupt information on what you're going to be looking for, what you need to be corresponding to when it comes to looking at the plans. And this is just a board with a chart. Channel here, intersecting wall here. There's a stud right here. Now I placed this 2x wall here because at the bottom I've also showed you it could be a 2x4, 2x6 wall. It could even be a 2x8 wall, which is a very wide wall. And why? Because maybe you might be going 4 or 5 stories up. If you're going 3 stories up, you do not frame your bottom floors with 2x4s unless they're doubled. Okay? You might as well go with 4x4s. It's every 16 inches. Okay? 2x6s, very adequate for going for 3 stories on your bottom floor. Okay, we're going to also get into making sure that this wall channel here is framed correctly. These could be pre-built. Pre-built channels. You can pre-build your king studs and your trimmers on the job, which is, this would be probably your your trimmer, but it would be like a double here. Double here. Why that's a double? Because you have a king stud and you have a trimmer. The king stud supports the header and the trimmer supports the header as well. One is nailed to the header like this, and one is nailed up underneath the header like this next to the king stud. It's 2 supporting members. You can have double, triple king studs. You can have double trimmers. And that means this window opening is very large. It's 6 foot or exceeding 6 feet, which is 8 feet wide, 6 feet wide. 4 foot, you can get away with 4 foot, 4 by 6. You know, we frame in California solid headers. And I notice on the East Coast and specifically on the south end of the United States, they like to build headers. They take 2 pieces of lumber, put a piece of 1/2-inch plywood or 7/16 plywood in between, nail that together on both sides, and they got a header. It's strong, but nothing is as strong as, you know, solid member. Because built up headers, usually some engineers will require you to glue that lumber and that plywood together and nail at a stitch rate, which means stitch nailing up, down, up, down, up, down, and it's spaced so many inches away from each other. Pay attention. Okay, check this out. All right, so as we go into our pocket door, the pocket door comes in an assembly. The assembly is this frame here. It comes with a frame. The door slides into the frame. The reason why this is a frame, remember, because it's a pocket. It's going inside of a wall. Now, this is not a framed wall, but it's a wall that's made to look like a wall. It's an added feature to a wall, an extension of a wall coming out so that when they drywall on the outside, it looks just like the wall. But it's not like the wall. It's an extension of the wall. So you need to understand that this wall here, or this encasement for this pocket door, the door slides inside of this pocket. As you can see here, this is the door that's shaded in. This door extends all the way inside the wall, okay? And it comes out to the other side. There's a latch mechanism so it can grab and you can lock it from the inside. But when it opens up, it opens the full length. This single swing does not open the full length and give you the access, because you're still going to have the doorway kind of like, it may be open all the way, but you still have that part of that door edge that's still in the way. Unlike here at the pocket, there is nothing that's going to be in the way, nothing that's going to be in the way, out of the way, if you get what I'm saying. It's there, but it's out of the way. But it's still in the way. Because the pocket door gives you full access to go in and out. Wheelchair or just embodiment, period. There's nothing on the outside where you have to close it back. You just have to slide it. Pocket door is a sliding door mechanism, the same as the bypass door. It's a sliding doorway mechanism that you have to, that you want to adhere to. So we went over the 2-eye wall. You will see that on a plan sometime, okay? In a one location or something. It could be outside of the wall. It could say SW2. That's going into engineering, because it's getting ready to tell you on the structural part of the plans the size plywood for shear factor. We're going into a little framing now. Stay with me. I'm building you up. I got the double stud here, 1 trimmer, 1 king stud, double stud here, double stud there. But mind you, you're not going to see that on the plans. I'm showing it here especially for you so you'll know there's a trimmer and there is a king stud. And we're going to get into that. This is going to always be the finish where you have the door jamb. the door jamb. One door for the bypass door. The bypass door, one is sliding this direction and the other side is sliding in another direction, one in front of the other. And this whole entire wall is going into, this needs to be nailed into this channel. This is the end stud of this wall here. This wall right here. This is the stud in the middle. Why? Because there has to be studs spaced every 16 inches on center. 16 inches on center or 24 inches on center. Those are the two common layouts for framing. 60, and it's the same with metal cold stud framing. Metal framing. It's the same principle. Metal framing is just somewhat different. Okay. There's no nailing. There's screwing. Okay. So some people do like to screw framing, wood framing together. It's no problem. Just make sure you use the right structural screws. You cannot use any type of screw, even if it has a star head, and it's for decking. It may not be structurally sound for framing. Remember, decking screws into a framing member to keep a deck plank board down. But when it comes to framing, this is long lasting. Decks are outside. Mostly have to replace them after 30 years. Don't go no further than 35, 40 years before they start deteriorating. They're getting better on products now where they call them lifetime. Okay, because they know you can come back. You got to purchase, you know what I'm saying? Oh, financing can be very great. Numbers, doors. When you go into our next segment, dealing with windows, letters. Okay? Numbers with circles, letters will have like a octagon, pentagon type of shape around it. It's going to specify in every area of an opening for a door, you will have a number. And every area for a window, you will have a letter that's going to tell you. And then you will have a window schedule that you're going to adhere to. Window schedules. I have blueprints for the project that I'm doing concerning my framing project. This here, you will see there's a window schedule on it here. It's marked up. You may not be able to see it very good. There's a window schedule. I have a lot of things written on these plans here. And the reason why is because these plans are very old. I got them out of a blueprint reading book that I had in school. Okay. I'm building a model based on these plans. All right. It's a single story home. It actually has a basement, but I condensed it down to just single story so that I can give you the concept of framing. And you will get everything you need to know pretty much in this segment of framing. There are some special custom framing that you do come across that they do not explain to you in a school, like balloon framing, walls above the normal height, octagon framing, walls that's balloon size, a double frame wall that has a recess for a window to give a certain in-depth look. These things are specialties that a lot of times these schools will not go over with you because it requires advanced knowledge. Pay attention. We're dealing with the basics. This is the basics now. I'm going to take you to advanced, to intermediate, and then I will be sharing some advanced techniques with you, special techniques. These videos will be different. These videos will be specifically on advanced techniques. These videos are like you going to an engineering class. They're going to be in depth. They're going to also be maybe between 30 minutes to an hour, specifically on that one part, maybe just one wall. We're getting ready also to go into estimating. How do we estimate a wall? How do we estimate all this? Now, always remember, the perimeter of your studs, there could be different size studs on the perimeter on your blueprints, 2x4 to 2x6, depending on the area of the house or the commercial building that you're framing. And you need to be aware that you read everything on the blueprints. And you look at the blueprints, go from the very beginning, read the general notes. Start with the general, please. It tells you the size nails that you need. It tells you everything, the size lumber, the size plywood. there's a lot of framers out there that just typically taking things and going to the next job. They look at the plans and they look at only maybe some of the structural, some of the floor plan, and then they don't look at the general notes. Because if they put in the wrong nails, understand one thing. Put in the wrong nail size can jeopardize your job on an inspection. You know, it could really jeopardize your job on inspection. So I'm holding up because my camera didn't automatically stop. So here, we're coming to the abrupt end of this video. I did want to show you the different sizes of doors, the stud layout, the channel. We went over that. We went over the different sizes of the doors of swing, left hand reverse. I want you to be efficient with this so that way you get a good general idea of what you're dealing with when it comes to building. All right. I am your contractor, Derek Sills. I'm also an instructor. I'm a professional, over 38 to 40 years of experience as a carpenter in this field. Whether you're building from the ground up or whether you want to remaster remodeling, you can do it all right here. Stay tuned. Stay with us. Hey, be very intuitive. Don't let the length of the videos intimidate you. The class that you go to in college, there's no walking in and out of the class. The teacher's giving you pertinent information. I'm giving you pertinent information. I'm giving you building blocks that you can continue to build on. View my channel. There's nothing wrong with look at these videos as many times you want. You think you may know everything, but it doesn't hurt for you to support me and what I'm doing here. It's getting ready to get big. We're getting ready to go viral. We're getting ready to do explosive things in this economy. I want all my students that's getting ready to come aboard, that's getting ready to contact me, 662-782-8950. Homeowners, school districts, private owners, you know, ball players. I got the concept of teaching your kids on how to build. Even you have a project, hit me up. Very important. Talk to you soon.